All right, Mark, before we get started, do you have any questions or concerns for today?
No, we're just getting the POS system. Today's actually the first day I'm starting to enter them all. It's missing little things here and there, but it's pretty much all in, I think.
Sending us information on your recipe costing card, so that's perfect. How are you doing on that? Any other questions that you have?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just trying to, whatever you guys need from me, I'm trying to get to you, so.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I've written down a note that I'm going to get those standard questions entered into your system. Now, I do want to get you going with the manager log today, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a demo system. I'm going to show you in the demo system with the manager log. This is going to be a communication tool for your management team. So what you want to do is I just want to make sure, has your team been able to sign in yet and view their schedule and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I have a couple of, the managers, everybody's in except a couple of the servers are having trouble. I talked to Gino yesterday, and I gotta figure out, one server can't get in, and I don't know why. I changed their password for her, and
okay, I'll show you.
In. Okay.
What's the best way to go about that? And then also, I know that you sent me an email about we were talking about your positions and the salaries. Well, let's go ahead and double check that too. I made a note that we have to review that later when we're in the scheduling system.
Okay, Brittany, cool.
So basically, the entire point of the manager log is so that you can be at different state. You can be in the beaches in Hawaii and know exactly what's going on in your restaurant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in a demo system, but I'm actually going to go into your system first and show you this drop-down box. So if you ever want to know, Roger, who has the manager role in your restaurant and who's actually receiving these daily, nightly emails, you can actually go to manager log under daily pay for. You can click on select user, and then from there, all of these users receive the manager log on a nightly basis, so they can go ahead and answer it. I'm going to go into the manager log in QFS, and then from there, this is what it looks like. Now, a couple different things. You know how you receive a manager log email at the end of the night? Let's just say at 1 a.m.? That's your dispatch time. So what that means is basically your managers have up until that time to answer the manager log or revise any questions for that day. No manager can go back and revise any previous day questions. After it's been dispatched, you basically can't edit it. And know that all managers see each other's answers, and so you just want to make sure no one's bashing another manager in there because they still can see it. All right? So to actually answer it, it's super simple. You're going to go ahead and click on this plus sign under manager log. From there, it's going to pull up all of your standard list of questions. Now, please note, I am the first person today to answer the manager log. So it looks like it's all blank until I click on the plus sign. Now that I click on the plus sign, here are all my list of questions and answers. Now you would typically just go down the list and answer all of these. For today's example, I'm just going to put test right over here just to show you. But once you're done filling out the manager log, all you need to do is save. All right, and then after that, you can see my answers are right over here. Let's just say that Gino's gonna go in here after I've answered my manager log questions. He's gonna actually see my answers, and it looks just like this. And then he'll have a plus sign in the bottom to go ahead and answer his own questions. You can actually dispatch it before the end of the night. So let's just say that you have a reservation for that day and you wanna make sure your managers see it. You can click on this drop-down box, select the manager, and click Send Mail Log, and it'll send it to them right now rather than waiting until the end of the night. Other than that, that's literally all you have to do for the manager log question. You just want to get in the habit of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is reset, like you said, you've already done. So I'm going to double click on Amy, and then from there, I'm going to go ahead and show the password, and then type in the standard. Do you know if that was what she was trying to enter in?
No, I don't. I think so, but then we changed it, I think, into that. I'll give her that. If that's the one that's on that sheet, on the instruction sheet, then let's stick with that.
I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to send her a direct email right now of her username and password, because the only issue, and this actually may be why she couldn't log in, when someone has 3 letters, we add an extra exclamation point at the very end of it. So I'll definitely send that over. And I'm going to save this. Now, what I would recommend, if you ever have this issue after you've reset it, I would recommend that you open up another browser and that you go ahead and try to log in yourself. And what I like to do is I like to just copy and paste it just to make sure that I'm entering exactly what I wrote earlier. And then I put it under restaurant ID just so I can see it, but I'm going to copy and paste it into there. And as long as you can sign in, that means that she'll be able to sign in the next time she's able to. So let's see. All right, so we're in. I'm going to send her that login, and we'll be good to go, okay?
Oh, that's great. Surprised everybody, well, not everybody, pretty much everybody got in. Like I was telling Gino, a couple of them are saying they have no room. They're still telling me that, so I got to figure out what I'm doing with that.
So to fix that is, Brittany was saying that they don't have enough memory, so they'd have to buy more memory, or they'll have to delete some other app just to have room.
Yeah.
That's what I told. Yeah, I told them that. So
Now,
she only works the weekend. She only works the weekend,
Yeah.
so I'll talk to her Saturday again.
Okay. Now, I will say, if someone has an iPhone, for me, I purchased for $3 an extra 10 gigabytes every single month, and it's only $3. And so sometimes you do have to. It's one of those things where it's not necessarily like our system error. It's more so of their phone just not having enough room in there. So I would recommend, if they can, just to go ahead and buy it. If not, just delete things off of your phone, and you should be good. Honestly, if they don't want to do that whatsoever, I would just tell them, okay, because here's the thing, Mark, and here's something that you have to remember. The app is for your employees' convenience. So if they don't want to, if they can't or they don't want to download it, that's really on them, because that's how they're going to easily view their schedule. That being said, she can still sign in on a browser on her phone, and what I would recommend is, if she has an iPhone, you can literally set Restaurant Assistance Pro as its own icon on your phone, on your iPhone, and then when you click on the app, it allows you to redirect to your browser on Restaurant Assistance Pro. So she can look at it there if she wants to.
That's not a bad idea.
All right, awesome. So what I'm going to do now is, the rest of today is probably just going to be verbally talking over about how to understand the product setup, grouping products, and all that good stuff. So just a heads up, it's really nothing that I'm going to give you as homework as of right now. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to explain it in the food systems. Now here's the thing, food systems, it's just a lot more different products. It's the same exact concept for beverage and retail though, just different products.
Gotcha.
So basically what you've done so far is you went ahead and sent us a product list of your order guides from your vendors. Now from there, we went ahead and made it usable for you, but you're going to have to learn how to make things usable because you may do it in the future. Now, what typically happens is you send us an Excel spreadsheet and we import it for you and then make it usable from there. Now, that being said, if you get a new vendor, you can absolutely still send it over to me, but you may get 1 or 2 new products from a vendor that it's easier for you just to enter it yourself rather than asking us to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, so let me see if I need to go into a demo system, 1 second. I'm going to teach you in a demo system because your products are actually all good to go in case you get a new one. And actually, I'm going to correct myself, Roger. You're doing accounting with us, and so you're not doing your own invoices. But that being said, you may still want to enter some products on your own. Maybe you don't want to wait till we enter your products. That way you can enter into inventory in the future, whatever it may be.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to manually make a product usable. Now, you just have to fill out some basic information. Initially, when we requested product information, we asked you for 5 columns: brand, pack size, vendor name, vendor product ID, price, as well as product name. Now, that being said, to enter a new product into the system manually, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this drop-down box and you're going to select the vendor. From there, to add a new product, you would scroll down after you selected the vendor and click on the plus sign to add a new product. And then you just fill out all of this information. Now, I'm going to show you some products that I've already imported. That way it has a little bit more information rather than me typing it in. Okay, awesome. So I went ahead and imported some products into the system. Now, that being said, all 5 of those columns have been imported, so we're good to go. You can see there is a couple columns that we need to fill out. So before I explain anything, I'm going to explain these columns for you. So the first column I see is going to be purchase unit. The easiest way to explain this is how you purchase the item. For this specific item, it's chicken breast. It's 48 8-ounce chicken breast for $100.80. The first thing that you want to do when you're looking at a product is make sure the pack size is correlating with the purchase unit price, which this one does. Now, like I said, the purchase unit is how you purchase the item. So what you would want to do for this one is, for me personally, I would want to enter this by the weight instead of by the each. I would go ahead and multiply 48 times 8, and that gives me 384 ounces. That means when I buy a case of it, which is my purchase unit, that's how I'm purchasing it, I'm buying 384. And then when you click on this drop-down box, there's a unit measure for pretty much everything that you need. I'm going to type in ounces. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, just let me know. Okay.
No, I figured.
Now, this unit, the storage unit is very flexible, so I will say it does tend to confuse people. There's two different ways to make a storage unit usable. The first way I like to think about is how do I want to inventory the item or store it in my inventory? The second way is how you want to use it in a recipe costing card. Now, for this specific item, you could do it two different ways. You could go ahead and store it by the case, or you could do it by the 8-ounce chicken breast. Honestly, so basically for this one, there's no right or wrong because the usage unit for this one, the usage unit is how you're going to use the item, is going to be 8 ounces either way. So what that means is no matter what, I have it by the case, so I can inventory or use it in a recipe costing card by the case, or I can still inventory or use it in a recipe costing card by the 8-ounce chicken breast. So no matter what, for this particular item, the storage unit could be either or, and it wouldn't be wrong. Under the description box, you have this description box. Now this is what they see in inventory. They see all the other columns, but let's just say that I want this to be called one breast. I could put that down. That way, whoever is doing inventory automatically knows that 8 ounces is one breast with their inventory.
Gotcha.
Now, the category is going to be food. This is where you want to apply it to your cost of goods sold category. So that being said, if you see a product in the system with, let's just say it's lemons, your back of the house and front of the house uses lemons, but let's just say that 51% of it is used for the front of the house, I would then put it into your liquor cost of goods sold so you can adjust it. I'm going to put it under food.
Right.
Now, catch weight items, that's anything by the per pound. The easiest way to identify anything by the per pound is if you look at the price could be like $3.15, but the pack size says a case, and you automatically know you'll never get $3 of brisket, for example, for a case of brisket for $3, and so that's going to be a catch weight. Anything that you buy by the pound. Think about when you go to a deli, it's the same exact concept. Product knowledge, so you don't have to enter this, but let's just say, like a lot of people in California like to write that it's locally grown organic because that's what their clientele wants. You can absolutely write that, but they'll see it in the recipe costing card when you print it out. Key item report, that's anything that you want to track on a daily basis. Prep item, that's anything that you want to put into your prep sheet, which we'll get to in the future. And then manufacturer numbers, subcategories, and subcategory numbers. This was made for wine bins. Do you have wines? Like wine bins?
We just have one in a box. We sell it by the cup once in a while, for glass.
So when, Mark, real quick, when she was talking about the product knowledge, I'll just tell you what's really neat about this is that you can put that information in, and when you print a recipe, you could actually print a recipe for training and give it to your front of the house staff, and it doesn't have all your instructions and everything in it. It's more, here's the items, and this is the knowledge that you have of it. So like Brittany was saying, locally grown, organic. So it's just a training tool for front of the house. So I just wanted to throw that part out.
Okay, I got you.
It looks like this. Now, this recipe doesn't have any product knowledge, but you'll see for the front of the house, they'll have this kind of recipe, and all they'll see is the ingredients and the product knowledge. All right. So you can ignore the manufacturer numbers then in subcategories. And then, so let's just say in the future, once your inventory is set up, let's just say that you're adding a new product, and it's not a grouped product, but you want to go ahead and enter into your inventory. You can actually go into the product and select the location. You can leave the index blank and it will generate at the very bottom. That way you can drag and drop it once you know where it actually is stored. And you can select the purchase unit, the storage unit, or the usage unit of how you want to count it. Now the last thing is we do have automatic par levels in the system, but we also can manually enter par levels. Now your par levels, just note that this is going to be basically your mandatory stock level for this item, and you want to make sure that you put it on your order day. So let's just say I order for Monday for Tuesday delivery. I would then enter my par levels on Monday, and then let's just say Thursday for Friday delivery, I would put it on Thursday. What's going to happen is in the future, once you start doing inventory, if you ever wanted to do invoices or ordering on our system through a purchase order, it would automatically generate how much you need to buy based off of your on-hand count and your par levels.
Okay.
So once you save that, you're all good to go. I'm going to go ahead and explain a couple more for you, just giving you a basic overview of it since you won't be doing much of this yourself since we are doing it for you. Okay, so let's see this beef. So here's beef, and this is 4 or 5 pounds. Now the first thing I look at is my pack size and my price. It's telling me I buy 20 pounds for $30. As long as that's accurate, then we're good to go on that aspect. Now again, your purchase unit has to correlate with the purchase unit price in the pack size. So for this specific item, I multiplied 4 multiplied by 5 to give me 20 pounds total per case. Now again, my storage unit is very flexible. There's 2 different ways I could go about, there's many different ways actually I could go about this, but the 2 ways that I would personally go about this is, I want to think about how I either want to use it in a recipe or store it in inventory. I could either do it by the 1 pound, and that's way I don't have to convert it into my recipe costing card if I'm using it by the pound, or I could even do it by the 5 pound box or 5 pound bag if it's in there, and that way I can inventory it by that 5 pound. Either way, it's not wrong or right. It just depends on how you want to inventory or use it in a recipe costing card. All right. Now, something I also need to teach you is grouping products. I'm going to look up something that I can group together, so bear with me while I look. So think about it in this aspect. If, let's just say that you have 2 different bacons. Are you using these 2 bacons for the same exact recipe costing cards?
Yeah, it's just different brands that with Corona they were having trouble getting bacon, so that's what that was. So
basically, what we're going to do is we need to start grouping your products together. This is going to do a couple of different things, but this is imperative to have an accurate inventory, recipe costing cards, and everything like that. When you're buying from multiple different brands, whether it's a substituted item or just sometimes you can't get that same exact item, whatever it may be, you want to go ahead and group them together. What that means is in your inventory, instead of having 2 different types of bacons trying to figure out which one was last purchased, I'm only going to have 1. Also, it's always going to be the last up-to-date price that you last purchased. So if this top one is the last purchased one, my price for everything else reflects this current price. All right, and then what's going to happen is in your recipe costing cards, instead of having 2 different bacon options, you're just going to be able to select 1 bacon, and that way, as long as my group's up to date, my recipe costing cards are 100% up to date with the price.
Okay, cool.
All right, so what I like to do is, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this one. I'm going to go ahead and help you out with the grouping. I just want to show you in case you need to update them on your own or whatever it may be. What I personally like to do is I like to split my screen, start at the very top of the list, and then I like to go ahead and identify things that need to be grouped together. Now, I will say the most important part of a group is, you can see this is bacon. Now, this column is hidden. You can't see it unless I scroll up. Do you see this usage unit column? You see how these 2 items are by the ounce for the usage unit?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna pretend like the avocado is bacon as well and just focus on the usage unit. I cannot group an ounce to an each. It all has to be the same usage unit. So that would mean if this is supposed to be grouped as well with the bacon, I would have to convert the one by the each or the ones by the ounce to be by the each. So it has to match up with each other.
I gotcha.
From there, what you're going to do is on the right side of my screen, I have my group products. Again, that's located on the very bottom grid where it says group products. I'm going to click on the plus sign to add a new group. From there, this box will generate. You just have to fill out this basic information. The first thing is the group name. So we're going to call this bacon. This is how you're going to be able to see it or search for it in your system. Okay? Now for the usage unit, we've already identified it's by the 1 ounce. So I'm going to put in 1 and then tab on over and type in 1 ounce. Now from there, what I'm going to do is there's going to be a drop-down box that says manual choice. Now that's defaulting a specific product. I don't want to do that. I always want my price to be up to date. I'm going to always select last purchase. And that's what we recommend. Okay. Now for the max price, that would basically be selecting a specific price that you want to generate every single time. So again, we're going to skip over that one. And then I'm going to go ahead under add products, I'm going to type in bacon. Now I searched for it alphabetically, but as long as the usage unit's the same, if I type in bacon, the rest of them should generate. And I'm going to select each and every one of them. Yep, from there, I'm going to save this. Now, if the usage is different, it's not going to even let you add it into the group. Anything else I can help you with?
No. You guys did a great job. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Sounds good, guys. You too.
All right.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.